Alright, so if you are already here in Estonia or you want to come here and live in this country, then one of the biggest things that you need to do is to learn Estonian. Estonian is definitely not the easiest language in the world. It is quite difficult. In this video, I want to talk about the 5 tips that I wish I knew earlier and that could have saved me a lot of time. Now, for me, I passed my Estonian B1 exam quite recently. I'm not one of the smartest language learners, so all these tips are for people who are, don't want to put a lot of effort or they're not as smart language learners, because I know people who are very, very smart at learning languages and I'm definitely not one of them. Tip number 1, immerse yourself in Estonian culture. Now, the thing is that if you are already in Estonia and you are going to learn the language, then just go outside. You don't even need to speak, you don't even need to talk, but the fact that you go outside, you roam around, you travel across the country, you see the signs hanging in Estonian and all these things, you see the billboards, you see all these things, you hear people talking, that is the kind of immersion that will, accelerate your language learning a lot. And I mean a lot, because then you will be associating the language, the words, with the scenery, with the people, with the emotions and the expressions. So if you are here in Estonia, then one way of language learning is to just simply immerse yourself in the Estonian culture. Go to gatherings, go to parties, go to events where you don't know the language, but you just go there and then you just soak in the atmosphere itself. Number 2, when thinking about learning Estonian, join a course where there is multiple people. Now, if you have money and you can afford it, then of course a tutor is better. But in some cases, I have seen that even when people have one-on-one tutors, it's still more helpful to be a part of a course or a class where you're part of a much larger group, like 4 or 5 people. And that is like extremely helpful and it's very accountable, because as soon as you start the course, you are sort of competing with all the students that you have, and it sort of gives you the initiative and the impulse to keep trying and to keep learning and to keep working hard at it, because learning a language it's a marathon. I mean, you don't learn it in a day or a month or even a year. I mean, it took me 2 years to learn Estonian properly. If you want, then I would highly recommend to join a course where there are multiple people. Now, Estonian Integration Foundation has really good courses that are absolutely free, and then you can join if you are from a non-EU country. Tip number 3, use language apps. Now, language apps are really good for learning the vocabulary. I used to use Speakly, which is a really good app, and it's something that can really help you learn the words and what they mean. It also really helps is that you tend to get a feeling of what the right word is or what the wrong word is if you go through them repeatedly a lot. I know Speakly is not free, but my recommendation would be that if you can get a chance to trial that, then do that and give it a go. It would really definitely help you a lot in your language journey. Tip number 4, and that was really helpful for me, and that was just listening to Estonian radio and podcasts and videos without knowing anything about it. The thing is, when you just listen to radio or when you just listen to music, you sort of start to get a feeling of what comes after the next word. Like, you don't know exactly the meaning of the words, what they're saying, but you start to get a feeling of what they are intending with their words. You start to understand a few words here and there, and then you also start to understand the bigger, larger picture, because in reality, you only need a very small number of words to make a sense of what a person is saying, because there are just a very few words that are used a lot. So my recommendation is to listen to Estonian radio. That's really, really helpful. It helped me a lot because I listened to it non-stop 2 weeks before my exam, and I sort of got a feeling in my gut of like, this is the right way to say it and this is the wrong way to say it. It just develops, because a lot of times learning language is not just analytical, like you're not thinking in your head, okay, this word comes after that, but it sort of comes from your gut. And I think that's one of the reasons why I scored so well in the speaking section of my test. Tip number 5, final, is to just practice. Even if you know 1 word or 2 words, then just keep speaking them. Do not worry about learning more words and then practicing them, because you already know at least 10 or 15 words of Estonian, even if it starts from tere or head aega, which is goodbye, or aita, which is thank you. Just keep using them, because as soon as you start to use them, you will start to get a feeling of what comes after that. And whenever you talk to your Estonian friends, like, incorporate Estonian words into when you are speaking. Don't be afraid of, mixing Estonian and English together, because that is exactly how you will learn Estonian. It is certainly not the most easiest language, but I can tell you that it is quite fun to see the faces of all your Estonian friends when you say something in perfect pronunciation and in perfect rhythm with a perfect meaning. So I hope you enjoy this video, and if you want to learn more about how I passed my Estonian exam, then please let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll make a video about that as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.